So, in our last lecture for the week, let's talk about group therapy. Group therapy refers to therapies that treat more than one person at a time, hence the group. It's widely available at a variety of locations, including private therapeutic practices, hospitals, mental clinics, and community centers. Group therapy can be used alone, but is also commonly integrated into a comprehensive treatment plan that includes individual therapy and medication. Now, there's a whole lot of variability in terms of the individual groups. So they can be as small, or 3 to 4 people, or larger with around 8 to 12 people, or even larger than that. The amount of time the group meets varies as well. Sometimes they meet once or twice a week. Sometimes they meet for an hour at a time. Sometimes they meet for 2 hours at a time. It really all depends on the individual group. There's usually a minimum of about 6 sessions, although there can be more, and meetings can either be open or closed. So, in an open session, new members are or new participants are welcome to join at any time. But in a closed group, only a core group of members are invited to participate. In his work, The Theory and Practice of Group Psychotherapy, Irvin Yalom outlined key therapeutic principles derived from self reports from individuals who have been involved in the group therapy process. So let's talk about a few of them. They instill hope. The group contains members at different stages of the treatment process. And so seeing people who are coping or recovering gives hope to those at the beginning of the process. Universality, so being part of a group of people who have the same experiences, helps people see that what they're going through is universal and they're not alone. Altruism, so group members can share their strengths and help others in the group, which can boost self esteem and confidence. Imitative behavior, so individuals can model the behavior of other group members or observe and imitate the behaviors of the therapist. Catharsis, sharing feelings and experiences with a group of people can relieve pain, guilt, or stress. And existential factors. So, while working with a group offers support and guidance, group therapy members realize that they are responsible for their own lives, actions, and choices. Now, some of the benefits of group therapy are going to sound very familiar to what we just talked about. So, group therapy allows people to receive the support and encouragement of other members of the group. By participating, they can see that others are going through the same thing, which helps them to feel less isolated and alone. Group members serve as role models for other members of the group. So, by observing someone successfully coping with a problem, other members can see that there's hope for recovery. As each person progresses, they can in turn serve as a role model and support figure for others, fostering feelings of success and accomplishment. They offer a safe haven, so this setting allows people to practice behaviors and actions within the safety and security of the group. And they're efficient, affordable, and versatile. So instead of focusing on just one client at a time, the therapist can devote their time to a much larger group of people. And group therapy can span all major schools of psychotherapy. You could do Gestalt, psychoanalysis, CBT. Those could all exist within a group model. So it's effective for a wide range of problems and can be as helpful as individual treatments. Group therapy can also reach people from different races, ages, economic levels, people who are divorced, struggling with gender identity, you name it. It's super versatile. While you might receive less one on one time, the added aspect is that you get to hear other people going through similar situations and get real world advice on how they work through problems, which might be similar to your own problems, fostering that sense of community and reducing problems of loneliness and isolation. One of the best known examples of group therapy is probably Alcoholics Anonymous, or AA. It's the largest organization for treating alcoholics. Their estimates say that there's 1.7 million members worldwide. Now, self help groups like AA have become very popular and widespread over the past few decades, and they've expanded to include groups for people with other substance use disorders, eating disorders, groups for families of those with disorders, and a number of self help groups. So, groups like AA are composed of peers with similar problems, and they offer a social setting for people to talk about their problems, tell their stories, and receive community support. Now, what's different about groups like AA compared to other forms of psychotherapy or group treatment is that there's often no professional therapist in AA sessions, although there can be. AA is based on the 12 steps method, which is rooted in the assumption that alcoholism is a disease and encourages members to never drink again after recovery. Interestingly, though, there's not much research demonstrating the effectiveness. So some people find it very helpful and are successful at overcoming addiction, but some of the claims regarding AA's success just don't hold up empirically. And one of the reasons for some of the issues here is that studies on AA members might be biased because the ones who end up in the studies tend to be the most active participants and the ones who really buy into the system and for whom it's been effective. One key factor of AA success that has been supported by research, though, is the social aspect. So, those who are involved in network support treatments and forming connections with other members, they tend to see more success over time. Another form of group therapy is family therapies. So, these involve the whole family together in treatment. Family therapists see most psychological problems as rooted within the dysfunctional family system. So maybe one person has a specific issue, but it's being exacerbated by the unhealthy relationships in the family. In family therapy, the patient is the whole family system rather than the one individual. This can often also include couples therapy. So we tend to think of family therapy as, parents and children, but it can also be for couples in a romantic relationship as well. And the goal is to focus on the interactions and relationships between family members, making sure they're functional and healthy, and examining what could be going wrong within the interactions. Strategic family interventions are designed to remove barriers to effective communication. So they aim to identify what's going on when family members talk to each other and see where it's going wrong, the lapses in judgment or communication that are not efficiently letting them resolve arguments. Structural family therapy, on the other hand, is a little bit different. It has the therapist immerse themselves within the family system to make changes. So while other therapies may be a bit more distanced and have the therapist looking in as more of an outside observer, structural family therapists are immersed and really do get involved with the family and playing a larger role in helping to facilitate communication. Both forms of family therapy are more effective than a no treatment or than a placebo treatment and are at least as effective as individual therapy, although there's some mixed results about how effective they are overall. Family therapies tend to be really effective in helping people understand someone else's perspective. So, individual therapy can help someone change their viewpoint, but if the issue is the relationship with their parents, they're still going back to that unhealthy relationship at the end of the day. So, family therapy allows for the redirection of the family dynamic as a whole, giving everyone the tools to improve relationships in the future. So that brings us to the end of our week on treatment. And as I said at the beginning of the week, there are so many more forms of psychotherapy. We could really only touch on a few of them here, but I hope that that helped to give you a good overview.